Hi, I'm Dr. Nick, and I'm the incrementalist. Today I wanted to talk about life and death. I know some consider that a morbid subject, but the reality is that we all face end-of-life issues and death, and I'm always reminded of it when I come to some of the monuments that are here in my home city. I'm privileged to live in fact, near the nation's capital, and very grateful for the opportunity to visit some of these monuments and experience the incredible majesty and history that's associated with people that have given up their lives, especially the veterans and many of the veterans' memorials. I very much wish my father had had the opportunity to see the World War II memorial. I know he would have really appreciated it as much as I did. But what I wanted to talk about is how we accept life and how we go through life, and in particular how we deal with death. And one of the incremental steps that I have is working towards acceptance of end-of-life issues. We're very poor at that, both in medicine but in general, of accepting the challenge of death, but it's inevitable. It doesn't matter where you come from or what your life experiences are, you're always going to experience death in any circumstance and at some point, and sometimes it visits us earlier than we would hope, and sometimes it visits people in ways that we would be challenged, particularly when it's younger generations that are influenced or affected by death. So how do you deal with that? What are the incremental steps that you can take? Well, my suggestion, relatively simple. What I would suggest is that you focus on life today and some of the positives that you have of your world and the things that you have in that world. And I try and experience that on a regular basis. I go through and enjoy the things that I have. It's always easy to find somebody else that has more, seems to be better off, is luckier, doesn't matter how you look at it. And I would encourage you, your incremental step is each and every day, wake up in the morning and think about all the things that you're happy about. What is it in your life, your world, that's good? There's always something, there's always people, and I would suggest that you can find a reason to be positive about the world that you live in and things to be happy about. And then at the end of the day, I'd encourage you to come up with 2 or 3 things that are positive and good experiences for the day that you've just had, the friends that you've met, perhaps some good things. My case, sometimes it's a drop of whiskey that gives me great pleasure. Other times it's friends, it can be a phone call, it can simply be reminding myself from some music that I perhaps listen to that gives me something that I remember from my past that is associated with a happy memory. Sometimes it can be social media is positive, and I'm reminded of something that happened several years ago or maybe months ago, and I think, wow, that was great, it was a positive experience. And sometimes it's negative with social media, and I would just tell you to ignore the negatives. So in the morning, wake up, look and think about the things that you're grateful for, and in the evening, come up with a couple of things that you want to be thankful for. All of that will help you as you think about end of life and the challenges that you face, both yourself personally, but also family members. And as one Republican pub owner in Ireland put it to me when we were talking about my father-in-law who passed away some time back, as he said, we're all going to the same destination, we're just, he took an earlier bus. And I find that comforting in this particular instance. It's one of those things that makes me feel levels the playing field. It's an acceptance of that end of life, and I think we all have to accept this reality that at some point we're going to die, and we should talk about it. We should talk about our feelings and accept that in many instances that sadness can envelop us in times and at moments that we least expect it, and we should just accept that and be accepting of our friends that experience those sadness and at inopportune moments. It's just the reality of the world that we live in. It's also the reality of sadness and grief, that it can strike at any point in time. And I think the most important thing you can do is accept it, talk about it, and importantly share it. We never know why somebody might be unhappy or sad, and I think it's important to realize that and be supportive through that and talk through it. If nothing else, it may be you the next time, and talking with somebody else can both give you some enlightening experiences in how to cope, and it can also help that individual. Hopefully this is useful. If I could ask a favor, if you like this video, if you could subscribe to it in the comment section below. If you didn't, leave me some comments, let me know what I can improve. I'm always looking for feedback. Otherwise, I'm Dr. Nick, I'm the incrementalist. Don't let perfection stand in the way of progress.